What is going on, guys? My name is Toso, and today I am finally here to talk about Dark Souls 1. Now, for context, for those that are new here, the first Souls game I ever started out with was actually DS3. And not gonna lie, it did create it would spoil me a little bit. Definitely spoiled me a little bit in regards to the mechanics as well as just how the game is structured overall. But I definitely wanted to go back throughout the different Souls games and just kind of experience them for myself. I am looking forward to seeing how a lot of them hold up, but I have been informed that one of them is not exactly the best. Despite that, one of them was held in very high regard, and that is what we're talking about today, Dark Souls 1. Now, Dark Souls 1 is a very interesting game for me, right? It's different in a lot of different ways. This is the start of how everything came to be in regards to where DS3 takes place, right? So story-wise, it's very beautiful to kind of see exactly what is being done here. It's very interesting. The reason why I say that is because there's so many different sections all over DS1, from like different biomes to different enemies and to just everything. There's not one area that looks identical to the other, which I think is a very neat thing for sure. One of the things I definitely had to warm up to though was the mechanics. It is a Souls game, but it definitely feels like vastly different from a DS3, and from a DS3 feels vastly different from an Elden Ring. They all feel unique in their own way, because no game is perfect. And I think I kind of appreciate that about Dark Souls 1. It's not a perfect game, but there are a lot of things that they do that I do really appreciate. And because of the things that they do in this first game, it's why it's improved upon in the later titles, right? Okay. Now, the healing in this game is annoying. Very irritating. Mainly because there's like this, I don't want to say lag, but you almost feel a little stun locked whenever you commit yourself to an action. Holy, he don't give you no room to heal, bro. And I found that very interesting when it came to DS1. That's one of the biggest things for me. It's like the animations, it's not as fluid. Sometimes it can feel a little stiff. One of the things I had to, I'm not gonna lie, I gave up on this entirely, was locking onto my enemies. If you look throughout the previous live streams, which I did not mention this, I did live stream my entire experience from beginning to end. Took a little longer than expected, but there was a few titles that popped up in between. Anyway, when you lock on to enemies and bosses in DS1, as far as I know, you are locked to 4 different directions where you can dodge: forward, backwards, left, and right. This, of course, was changed in a lot of the later Souls games because the omniversal dodging is very useful, which I think they know this. Reason being is because when you're not locked onto an enemy, you're able to dodge in any direction you want to, which I found just very, it was a little weird for me, but when I locked off, I literally had it like way more fun, a much better time, and a much better experience with the game overall. Believe it or not though, those are really the biggest issues that I found with the game, which is very rare. Typically whenever I'm having, or like I'm playing a game, or I'm watching a show, or I'm watching a movie, I find a few things that I did not necessarily love. But if anything, that was the biggest thing. Another thing that was a tiff, probably the biggest tiff, despite like I can deal with the whole healing taking too long and having to be locked off the entirety of my runs and everything like that. I can deal with literally all of that. But the biggest thing for me when it came to Dark Souls 1, the biggest like gripe, the biggest like, oh my gosh, this is actually just bad. It starts with a B. It's 3 words, and it ends with an S. Bed of Chaos can go straight to the pits of hell. If there was a place under hell, I would put that boss there. Oh my lord. You have got to be kidding me. You can't tell me you tried. It is absolutely terrible. And there is no argument that can be made on behalf of that boss and under any circumstance. It's fucking awful. Now, the only pro when it comes to that boss is the fact that it retains, like, if you die, it checkpoints you Like it checkpoints is like the not I wouldn't even say like necessarily the damage, because you have to break one side, you have to break another side, you have to hit it one time, and then the boss is dead. But it'll save if you break one side and then you die. Then when you come back, that side is still broken. You get it. That's it. That's it. You slide down this big ramp. You step into the boss fight. This thing is breaking the floor. Its body is literally moving you into all the holes on the floor, and you have to. And oh, you know what? There is another thing. There is another thing. Now, it's the reason why I think I just thought about it is because it's not that common. It's only with a few sections. The run backs for some of these bosses, no. That is demonic. Some of these run backs are genuinely just the worst of the worst. It's just awful. Gwendolyn, absolutely not. Seath, wow. Some of these run backs are just rough. But aside, and Bed of Chaos too, which makes the boss even worse. But aside from that, aside from those little tiffs, that's it. Those are my only gripes with the game. I love Dark Souls 1. I love it a lot, actually. Ever since I've beaten it, and I beat it last week. We beat it recently on stream. I've been thinking about the game. I've been thinking about a variety of different builds that I want to try when I have my second playthrough. It's a great time. And for it to come out, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, DS1 came out, I think, in 2011? For that game to come out in 2011 and to still be so good and to have this amount of replay value is actually insane. It's actually pretty crazy. I adore, and you'll see it throughout the streams, in any section we got to, I kept like gushing over the architectural design and how they built the world out, and like some of the sections is just even for it to look the way that it does, it's just gorgeous. It's actually really pretty. And some of the enemy design is actually pretty. Some of my favorites. The mushrooms are great. I absolutely love that design. The Hydra design is pretty crazy. They got crystal monsters. And another thing that I commend them on, which is weird because it's actually worse in their later titles, the NPCs are not atrocious. The NPCs are actually really easy in this game. The only NPC fight I had a quote-unquote issue with, and it was only because I was a low level, was Havel. But all I did was parry him and he died. Like, this game is great in so many different ways. It's absolutely beautiful. Don't ask me what the story is. Don't, because I can't tell you. I got the gist of it. We're gonna be the next Lord of Cinder, but I'd have to like really sit down and watch a whole video talking about the story. But overall, from just a gameplay perspective, it was a lot of fun. I really do wish though I would have used other weapons, because I primarily used the Chaos Blade. I had a Chaos Blade build, but it was cleaning bosses. I think the most time I spent on a boss is maybe 10 tries at the most. I think, I'm not gonna lie, the most deaths I had to a boss had to probably be Artorias. It was probably him. Aside from that, I don't think any boss had me like stressed out or nothing like that. Artorias probably just took the most time. And I said it in the stream too, that I feel like Artorias as a boss is not necessarily hard, but it's just the way this game functions that makes him hard, if that makes sense. Because I was using the Chaos Blade against him, and then I eventually switched to an halberd, and I put the gold resin on it, and it was destroying him. He could not breathe, right? So it's just, I don't know. This game is just really cool. That's really all I have to say. I'm pleasantly surprised. I would encourage anybody, if you want to get into the Souls series, probably start with DS3. I know it sounds crazy, like you're gushing about the whole game. Yes, and the reason why I say that is because if you don't have any Souls experience, you're not going to really appreciate this game for what it is. But I'd say to start with a balanced Dark Souls experience, and then if you are curious enough, go back, see what Dark Souls 1 is talking to you about, and you'll find yourself pleasantly surprised, just the way I am. But that's it. That's really all I have to say today. I know this video was a little some of my topics were just a little all over the place. I'm sorry. I don't do scripts. I don't. I like to just sit in front of a screen, sit in front of my microphone, and just express my raw and authentic thoughts. And that is what this was today. So thank you guys for listening in. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like what you see here, please go down, like, share, and subscribe. I like to go live at least 2 to 3 times every single week, and you'll be seeing a lot more videos like these coming to the channel as well. I love you guys. I really do. I really appreciate you, each and every one of you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.